Have you ever stopped to wonder what exactly do Death Eaters do on a Tuesday morning? Not when Voldemort has summoned them, not when they're chasing Harry Potter, not during the Battle of Hogwarts. I mean, the other 99% of their lives. Do they wake up, eat breakfast, kiss the kids goodbye, head off to work? Do they file paperwork, own businesses, pay taxes? Or does Lord Voldemort somehow provide an excellent benefits package? Today, we're asking one of the strangest questions in the wizarding world. Do Death Eaters have day jobs? One thing the Harry Potter series never really addresses is logistics. Being a Death Eater sounds like a full-time commitment, until you think about it for more than 5 seconds. Voldemort spends years in hiding. Sometimes months pass between meetings. There are long stretches where absolutely nothing happens, which raises a practical question. If you're not actively terrorizing the wizarding world, how do you pay rent? Some Death Eaters are obviously wealthy. Lucius Malfoy practically swims through Gringotts like Scrooge McDuck. The Lestranges inherited enormous fortunes, but not everyone belongs to one of the sacred 28 families. What about Avery, Yaxley, McNair, Jugson? Somebody has to be making a paycheck. The funny thing is, J.K. Rowling quietly answers this question more often than we remember. Walden McNair works for the Ministry as the official executioner of dangerous magical creatures. Not exactly a comforting career choice. Augustus Rookwood worked in the Department of Mysteries before becoming a spy for Voldemort. Igor Karkaroff became headmaster of Durmstrang. Severus Snape, well, he literally teaches children all day before attending secret meetings with the Dark Lord at night. Imagine grading essays on potion ingredients and then spending your evening discussing murder plots. Talk about work-life balance. Truth is, many Death Eaters seem to live surprisingly ordinary public lives, which is probably exactly what Voldemort wanted. Now comes the fun part. Let's speculate. Lucius doesn't really need a job, but if he had one, I imagine him as the wizarding equivalent of an antique dealer. Rare magical artifacts, questionably cursed heirlooms, ancient family treasures, everything sold with just enough plausible deniability. No, Minister, I had absolutely no idea this necklace was haunted. Sure you didn't, Lucius. Bellatrix as a teacher sounds horrifying, which is exactly why it's funny. Picture a dark arts boot camp. Today's lesson: creative uses for the Cruciatus Curse. Homework: psychological intimidation. Extra credit: making Neville Longbottom uncomfortable. Attendance would probably drop pretty quickly. Greyback practically markets being a werewolf as a lifestyle. I can imagine him holding motivational seminars. Stop hiding who you are. Embrace the wolf inside. It somehow feels both inspirational and deeply illegal. Honestly, Peter feels unemployable. He'd spend half the day hiding under someone's desk, the other half transforming into a rat to avoid responsibility. Actually, that might make him middle management. Here's what's actually fascinating. The Death Eaters aren't portrayed as monsters living outside society. They're portrayed as people who blend into society. Many have respectable jobs, families, homes, influence, power. That's part of what makes them frightening. The books repeatedly remind us that evil rarely announces itself. Sometimes it wears expensive robes. Sometimes it works at the Ministry. Sometimes it teaches school. Sometimes it sits beside you at dinner pretending to be perfectly respectable. That's a much more unsettling idea than an army of obvious villains hiding in caves. Of course, it's still fun imagining Bellatrix running after-school workshops, or Lucius negotiating the sale of slightly cursed furniture, or a Death Eater calling in sick because Voldemort scheduled a meeting during business hours. I can't make the attack tonight, my lord. Quarterly reviews are due tomorrow. In the end, the Harry Potter books never fully answer what every Death Eater did between acts of evil. But maybe that's the point. The scariest villains are often the ones who look completely ordinary until the mask goes on. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this bizarre little dive into Wizarding World logistics, be sure to like the video, subscribe to The Confusing Middle, and let me know in the comments, what do you think Death Eaters did from 9 to 5? Because somewhere out there, I'm convinced one of them was just quietly processing paperwork until Voldemort called. And honestly, that might be the most terrifying thought of all.